Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
Okay, hello. It is Scott and Rob here for the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. And we're back. And we're back doing another classic wrestling watch-along here. I was going to say review. It will sort of be a review as we go along. If you're watching live, watching on demand, either way, thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. What we're going to be doing is we'll sync up our streams together, and hopefully anyone watching on demand or live will do the same. And then we'll kind of, well, you've probably seen it watching on before. You should know how these things work. We'll kind of just go through this event. Now, what we're doing is, ECW One Night Stand. At the time of recording, Extreme Rules is fast approaching. Of course, it's going to be in Philadelphia. They used Paul Heyman in the promo video, so they know what they're doing. Of course, this show wasn't in Philadelphia, but we all know the actual spiritual home, of course, of ECW was Philadelphia. This show is at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Still another great venue. Fond memories of this one, Rob. What about you?
Yeah, do you know what? I vaguely remember some of the matches. I'm just looking at the list, and I'm really excited to see what happened. It was because this was before WWE took ECW and turned it into a misery.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so of course, that'll come up a few times throughout the night as well. That was, like you say, it was early days for the newer version of the ECW brand. Of course, it come back. You know what? Weirdly enough, I just realized I think I had a dream last night or the night before that ECW came back, but they were going to use it as another version of developmental, because that's kind of how the WWE version ended up being, didn't it? Ended up being the third brand with a lot of younger stars and stuff like that. But yeah, this is as true to the original ECW as you can get, I think, when it comes to a WWE show. So I look forward to see it. I mean, when it happened, when it was live at the time, I was massively into ECW. I know it had been gone for 4 years, but you know, watching tapes and DVDs and whatever else of ECW, I was into so many ECW wrestlers, and yeah, I was just so excited about it at the time. What about you? Was you a big ECW fan?
Only after it had gone. When I was at that point of, all right, we got the Attitude Era, I enjoyed that. Obviously, we were like 9 or 10 around about that time. So when we kind of really started enjoying wrestling as I got older, I went back and watched the old ECW stuff on VHS tapes and DVDs and stuff. And it's weird that you appreciate what they done back then, and it's a shame we didn't get to see it live.
Yeah, I think the same. When I remember watching a bit of ECW when it was on the air, but not much. And I remember like rumors, as you talk about being a kid, a lot of people were like, "Oh, yeah, wrestling's it's not real, but ECW that is real." Like that's how I remember kids describing it to me in school. I was like, "What?" And I assumed every match was barbed wire rope match, and all that kind of stuff. They, kids used to paint this crazy picture of ECW. Now, don't get me wrong, some crazy things happened, but it weren't quite like that. But yeah, this is a true kind of what do you say? Kind of honoring, I guess.
Homage.
Homage. A nostalgic show through and through. It's weird to think though, it'd only been gone 4 years. Yeah. And could you imagine? I don't think there'd be anything like nowadays of a nostalgic show based on something that died 4 years ago.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm older and I don't know. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to watch ECW One Night Stand 2005. We're going to talk about the show as we go on. Every now and then, we'll kind of announce where we are on the show, just in case you are watching on demand or you're watching live. You join us later. You'll kind of be able to dip in and out, and we'll explain where we are on the show. So we'll do a little bit of a countdown in just a second. Just want to make sure I'm all set up over on this side as well. Right, there we go. Yeah, looking forward to the show though. But and like I said, it was. I'm just wondering if it holds up the same way as it did, as I felt it was, when I was young. Because before watching it again, I haven't watched this in years, but
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, I would say if you ask me what my top 5 shows of all time are, this one I think would be up there. And I'm not sure if it's still gonna live up to that. I'm a bit worried that it might not, but yeah.
That's my worry. Do you know what? I remember when I first got the network, when it come over, when we got it in the UK, was it 2014, 15, something like that?
Yeah, about 14.
I remember watching the very first Money in the Bank match, TLC at SummerSlam, and ECW One Night Stand. They were the 3 things that I watched over the course of about a couple of days. So they were them were my go-to. Obviously, WrestleMania 17 as well.
So did you watch? Was this the last time you watched that then?
Yeah. So I haven't seen it in a good 8 years, something like that.
I think it might be longer for me, But right, okay, let's get going then. All right. So we're counting us down. If everyone gets your networks ready, Robert, have you got your network ready?
Of course.
For those abroad in America, it might be Peacock. You might even be watching this on DVD. Who knows?
Get your VHS out. There you go.
I think VHS was on its way out in 2005, to be fair. But
I mean, if someone's got one, that'd be great. That'd be great. Just pause it and watch everyone jump for a bit.
Good point. Yeah. Right. Let's get going then. I'll count us down from 5. We'll keep the intro on as well. So when we're ready, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, so opening with a crowd shot, of course. Everything about this just felt so cool at the time. The ECW chants, here we go. EC dub, I should say. I love the theme song as well. It's so cool, isn't it? Getting goosebumps, mate. Oh. See, it's that classic entrance way as well. It's a shame seeing what ECW became after this, but
yeah,
for this moment in time, it was so exciting to have it back.
Do you know, as a comparison, I would probably say when Impact CNA really had its peak moment, that would probably be as close as you would have got to how an ECW was for the way the crowd interacted and stuff.
Yeah, I think not obviously the product was very different, but yeah,
completely.
I think when I was talking earlier about could you really be nostalgic for something that's 4 years old? I think if I saw any kind of nostalgic show now, I'd want to see a kind of mid to late 2000s TNA show. That's what I'd want to see.
Yeah.
So I get that comparison there. Jerry Styles there looking like he's going to burst into tears, of course. Emotional night for a lot of these people.
One-man commentary team as well, wasn't it?
I think he has Mick Foley at some point. There we go, the classic OMG. It's a very clever name as well, One Night Stand, of course. Especially for a brand like ECW to use.
Who do you reckon, was in production for this? Do you think it was Heyman?
What do you mean, like backstage sort of thing?
Yeah, obviously, normally it would be Vince and whatnot.
Yeah, I reckon he probably got all control for it. Here we go, Mick Foley.
Oh,
Cactus Jack version. See, this is a strange decision though, because like you say, it used to be just Jerry Styles. So
got a lot of love for Mick Foley, you know.
Me too. I did feel like it was strange having him in this position on the show, but then he deserves to be part of the show.
I think if there was going to be anyone, Heyman would have been a prime person.
Yeah, yeah.
But with it being Heyman's kind of baby,
Mm.
you needed someone else. And I think if there was going to be anyone, it's got to be Foley, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a good point. If you do pick anyone. All right, so into a little intro package here. Again, that amazing theme song.
Oh,
They had such a cool vibe. Like like the production and everything like that. It was so basic, of course, and quite raw.
Cheap and cheerful, but
exactly
everyone loved it.
Cheap, but like it works. Like
yeah,
because even when you saw Foley's nameplate come back at the bottom there, it looked dated for 2005, and like obviously it was trying to reflect something that weren't even that much older. 10 years tops, but they would have been using quite kind of basic stuff, really. Okay,
it's funny.
now
We probably use.
Oh. Go on.
So we probably use better graphics now on this live stream than they did. They did for this.
So here we've got the I guess the theme song for the event, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drown and Paul. Okay, first up we got Lance Storm coming out. Front scene. No, it's Dawn Marie.
Dawn Marie.
God, Dawn Marie, that's a name.
Was you a fan of Lance Storm?
They never gave. I mostly saw his WWE run. They never gave me a reason to follow him, I liked things he did.
Was that more with the with Trevor Murdoch?
Who
was it
Lance
when he had?
Storm?
Was it Lance? I'm sure it was Lance Storm and Trevor.
No, that was Lance Cade.
Was it Lance Cade?
Garrison Cade, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, my mind's going, man.
Yeah, the only thing of note that he did in WWE would have been the Un-Americans that we saw, obviously, when we did our review, watch along even recently. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. SummerSlam 2002, did a little watch along for that as well. Jericho, classic. See, now with hindsight, I can look back and go, "Oh, this is cool." But at the time, Jericho just felt so WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that he'd gone back to the Lionheart kind of gimmick for it.
Which, you know what else is great?
Go on.
Not that I want to do comparison of brands, but when Jericho first appeared in AEW, when they done the big pay-per-view, before it was All In or All Out, one of those.
Yeah.
And he done the different versions of himself before he came out.
Yeah,
Lionheart was one of them, which was great.
Yeah. He's done it recently as well, didn't he, against Moxley? He was the Lionheart again, so. Yeah, see, like I get why they've done this match, and I remember enjoying it. And there's history between them. I'm just not sure if it would have been the match I chose to be the opener.
No, really?
Yeah, just because it doesn't feel at the time. I mean, in 2005, Jericho just felt very WWE to me. Obviously, we've got Guerrero and Benoit on this as well. Rey Mysterio is on the show as well. Okay, start out quite quick here. I mean, the fans are well into it.
Yeah.
So was this Lance Storm's last match? They just said there that it might be.
Hello, do you want me to have a look?
Yeah. Even Dawn Marie, I think, had been gone for a while at this point. The first plate of chops. Okay. Nice drop kick there from Jericho. Yeah, go on.
It says Lance Storm and Jericho last met in the ring at ECW One Night Stand in June 2005. The former IC champion then competed on a part-time basis, with his last match coming against Matt Hardy in 2016. Storm explained the agreement he has with Jericho that would see the two men face off one last time. So this was the last time they ever faced off, but I'm assuming his last match ever was 2016.
Well, that's a long time after.
But if it was part-time, he was probably doing bits and pieces.
Yeah. Okay, so Jericho into the guardrail there.
I love them guardrails as well, you know. They're so, again, just budget.
So, yeah.
The only thing I'm missing is not the blue canvas on the in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Lovely dropkick that by Lance Storm. Amazing. But that's for me. I think it's probably easy to forget these days just how different this show's presentation felt. You know? Like, it was, like I said, just so exciting. So obviously at this time as well, there are a few notable names not on the show. The main ones for me would be Terry Funk and Raven. I think Sabu's not on this one either. And obviously RVD's injured.
No, Sabu. Rhino versus Sabu.
Oh, Rhino Sabu's on this one. Okay. RVD's injured. Oh, lovely there. Drop kick counter from Lance Storm, who had just jumped up onto the turnbuckle, jumped back right into a Jericho drop kick there from behind. But yeah, a few significant names not on it, which is a shame, obviously. Again, RVD, word is it was his kind of idea, and he gets injured just before it.
Lovely. You know what? I think I'm getting like 05's One Night Stand and 2006's kind of jumbled in my head. Because I'm thinking certain people are there and they're not, just going by what they've got in the description card.
Yeah, because Terry Funk is on the next one.
Because Cena goes against RVD in the next one, right?
Yeah, Cena RVD is a year later, yeah. So, like, there's a nice chance for Chris Candido. I think he hadn't even long passed away at this point. Lovely. Tiger. Yeah, so, some of those names just aren't on good terms with WWE at the time. And they also do the Hardcore Homecoming show. Have you ever seen that? That Shane Douglas put on. The Shane Douglas put one on, like, I think a few days before this. And it was at the ECW arena. And it's a decent show. Out of the two, I think ECW One Night sounds better. But basically, it's got quite a few people from this. Obviously, not the ones that are under contract, like Jericho, though. Lovely super kick there by Lance Storm. Kick out by Jericho. And it's put together by Shane Douglas. And then they did another one, I think, the next year, but I don't think that was as good.
I would like to watch, like, I wouldn't want to call it off-brand, but like independent pay-per-view kind of esque shows that we've not actually watched and do like a live reaction to them. Obviously, we're doing the watch along now, but the one that you've just said I've never seen. That'd be good to watch if we could get hold of it.
Yeah, I've got it on DVD somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was an alright show. The problem it had though was as much of ECW did when it got released by other people over the years on DVD, is the rights to the music and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. That was lovely.
Beautiful there by Lance Storm. Jericho trying to get the walls. Slingshot.
I cringe
Bulldog.
every time I see a slingshot, you know.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
No, because of what happened. Do you remember what happened to Cesaro when his teeth went up?
Oh, yeah. Flipping heck, yeah.
Every time I see that now, I just cringe a little.
I forgot about that. There's a great counter there. Into the walls, Jericho. Dawn Marie trying to distract the ref.
Was that Dean Malenko?
No.
Who was it? Just Incredible and who?
I don't know who the other one was. It was just incredible, yeah. Oh, the sound of that. Kendo stick to the head. Lance Storm gets the victory. My goodness. I can't remember the name of the other guy. Let's have a look. Impact Players. ECW.
God.
Oh, Jason Knight. Let's look at Hardcore Homecoming. Yeah. Oh, it's 2 nights. That's what it was. Yeah, 2 nights. September 2005. And then they did another one called November Rain in November.
Oh.
But this is One Night Stand in June. Is it not?
Yeah,
June. So I thought it was like the same week.
So that's something I absolutely loved about ECW. With the commentary table, and they literally just had like a backdrop with just saying ECW. The way it's just done. It's so, again, it's just cheap, but it works.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it's something quite, I don't know, comforting about it.
Yeah.
So these are the empty seats, of course, of the Raw and SmackDown Superstars, and they play this very well to link it with the current product. Obviously, using all the heels from Raw and SmackDown to be the kind of fodder to kind of the default kind of bad guys. I think this is the ones that have passed, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. So Gary Wolf now. Okay, so we're going to get a tribute here. I'm sure, as I mentioned earlier, Chris Candido, I think he had just passed away. Okay, so we've got Rocco Rock from Public Enemy. He'd only passed away 3 years earlier at this point.
Oh.
Terry Gordy. Again, had passed away 5 years previous to this show. It's nice of them to do this, though.
Nice little touch in it.
Yeah, we got Mike Lockwood, of course, Crash Holly, only 2 years previous to this. I mean, these clips are from WWE as well. The original Sheik, of course, Sabu's uncle, died 2 years previous to this show. Nice touching message there from Sabu. Mike Lazansky, 2 years earlier. Man, how many people have died in the years leading up to it? So the other Pitbull here.
There was all like 2 years, isn't it? Like 2-3 years, isn't it?
So many of these are there, like 2003. Big Dick Dudley, of course. How many Dudleys were there back then? Cool.
Too many Dudleys.
There we go, Chris Candido. Yeah, I'm sure it was literally just before this event he had passed away. Great wrestler, Chris Candido.
Them bumps, though. Whew.
I know, yeah. Well, he was in TNA at the time, wasn't he, when he passed?
Was he?
Yeah, I think the match where he got injured was in TNA, and then he got surgery. I think he then got an infection, and then yeah, kind of his body kind of went downhill. Yeah, very sad. But again, touching little segment there from ECW / WWE, you could say. So it's 18 minutes and 51 seconds at the moment. When we get to 20 minutes, I'll give us a 10-second countdown, just in case anyone's out of sync with us at the moment. But we're moving on to the next match. Is it James Mitchell? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Mikey and Tajiri.
Freeway dance. I've not heard that in years.
I know, yeah. I like that they used to have their own little terminology. You know, they didn't say triple threat; they say freeway dance. And
It used to freak me out, you know.
who? James Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's spooky. Tajiri, man, he was so cool. Yeah, it's elimination, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, the FBI. See, I'm pretty sure this is dubbed over. I don't feel like this is the music they were playing at the time.
I don't know, you know.
I don't think it is.
Wasn't it?
No, it would have been.
Was it No Sleep Till Brooklyn?
Yeah, but
Like
that's
the
what they
version of that?
played. Yeah, but the WWE version had that, so I don't know why they couldn't have just played the WWE version, which was an obvious rip-off of it. Yeah, that's annoying, man. And I know later on, Enter Sandman would definitely not be in it, but that was an amazing entrance. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. Full-blooded Italians here. I love this about ECW. They're random little groups like this. But of course, we've got little Guido. WWE fans probably know as Nunzio. Good one-liners from Jay Styles there. Is it Super Crazy? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big fan of him.
Well, he ended up getting a contract, didn't he, with WWE? You know, quite a lot of these guys ended up sticking around, to be fair.
Oh, what an entrance.
Okay, so yeah. Little Guido. Guido. I was thinking of Nunzio and Guido.
You made him more Italian.
I know. Little Guido.
Guido.
Tajiri and Super Crazy. Going to be an interesting match, this one. Did we see Little Guido in something recently? Was he in AEW?
I can't remember.
Or was it Impact? I think it might have been, because also Tony Mamaluke was, and I was confused that they called him that, because when, of course, TNA started doing their own versions of ECW One Night Stand, they called him Tony Luke for that. I'm sure I've seen them both in TNA recently.
I mean, it is possible.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had a fight with the major players.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew I'd seen him recently. Anyway, back to their match. Nice moonsault there from Super Crazy. What was his theme song? Wasn't it something like I'm super crazy, or something like that? Is that what it was?
In what? In WWE or ECW?
Yeah, I'm sure in WWE. It said
know.
something like he's super, he's crazy, he's super crazy.
Oh.
Oof.
Oh.
Tony Mamaluke stops him.
That was another great thing. The timekeeper was literally at ringside with just a standard table. They didn't have their own section.
Into the crowd now. The first kind of bit of fan participation on its way. I love this venue, man. I'd love to go there. This is where the first Raw was as well, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, because this is where they did Raw 25 from. That terrible, terrible show. That should have been so much better. But oh my gosh, super crazy here with a moonsault into the crowd off of the balcony. Unbelievable, man. You can see why he got a job after this.
I think the problem is some of the guys that got a job after this didn't really amount to as big as they did in ECW because they were limited on what they could do. Like, because the way the arena was set, he could do that. You wouldn't be able to do that if you went on something in WWE. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he had a bit of a run in the Cruiserweight division, and then I think he was part of Mexico's, wasn't he?
God, I hated that. So bad.
But even that, yeah, Mexico's, they brought in the Blue World Order. I love the fans counting in Spanish there for the punches on the top rope.
We should bring that back, you know.
What, counting in Spanish?
Yeah. Just count in another language, regardless of what they are. Just throw the wrestlers off.
There you go, a bit of interference on the FBI. Oh, miss into Guido's eyes. James Mitchell, though, jumps into the match himself.
Where do you think he carried that mist? Like, it's always questioned me. Like, is it in a tablet form or something?
That's a good point. I've never really thought about that. Yeah, is it in like a little vial or something? Mikey Whipwreck here.
Oh.
Off the rope. Okay, so Guido has been eliminated. Okay, so now Tajiri and Super Crazy. Lovely, man. Ooh. Look at that. The thing I always like about Super Crazy is he doesn't look like a cruiserweight. Like, he looks a little bit bigger, a bit chunkier. But so is Tajiri, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's a bit like in comparison to today's maybe Pentagon Jr. Like he can do all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But he doesn't look like even Kevin Owens, for a prime example, is a bigger guy but can do all the cruiser stuff.
Yeah. Fans really behind Super Crazy here. Okay. That is so impressive. Just to be able to do a moonsault off of the first one. Yeah. I mean, I know people can do it standing off of the mat, but
you can do it next, Scott.
I can do what? That?
Yeah, you can do the moonsault off the bottom rope next.
But I mean, I know people do it off of a standing level anyway, and of course, one rope up is a little bit higher. But it's such an awkward angle. It's so impressive. Get the UF'd up chant going there. There we go, Super Crazy on the top rope this time. Another moonsault. And it's all over.
Do you know what I love about Philly fans? But regardless of how, I don't want to say PG or family it presented that you want it to be, if you make a mistake, they'll tell you.
No, this is New York. This is New York, not Philly.
Oh, is it?
Mm. Yeah, it's just for this show, yeah. But it's saying it's not far. I travelled from New York to Philly. Didn't take long. Great match.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, you can see how that could earn someone a job. Here you go. So walking down the memory lane here with some clips. We've got Shane Douglas here with the title.
Oh man, do you remember when Taz was actually a Tasmanian? Oh.
Yeah, and even there, Sabu coming in on the with the restraints and that. Too Cold Scorpio. He was so good.
So good. I bet you loved him, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah. They were so good with their branding as well, saying like that. It's meant, it's terrible that the night line was crossed and things like that. Sandman. Oh my gosh. There you go, Sabu, little highlight reel now. I used to love Sabu as well. I thought it was amazing. This is where he asked for another, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This was the point where I remember, I'm sure it was Tommy Dreamer on a podcast, and he was saying they were trying to get him over as more extreme because he was just a pretty boy.
He looked like a It's mad to think, isn't it? Like considering how he was seen, like, and he's made fun of him in his later WWE years, but he really was just a pretty boy at first.
Yeah.
Look at Terry Funk barely able to walk there.
How old was he there?
I don't know.
50? Late 40s?
It's probably still younger than some of the people that are knocking around today. Same as like when Hogan always looked so old. It's such a big moment now where he throws down the NWA title and basically turns it into the ECW title. Real controversial there.
Oh.
Back of the head there. It's a bit of a hard thing to watch now. It's where the ring collapses, isn't it?
It's when it collapses, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy that jumped out before it collapsed must have thought, whew.
Okay, back to the action now. This music feels dubbed as well, I don't know. The Psychosis.
I don't know.
Yeah. Or Psicosis, I should probably say. Okay, so we're on 32 minutes and 15 seconds. At 35, we'll do a 10-second countdown just so that if anyone's out of sync, they can join us again. Yeah, he got another job after this as well because he was the other one in Mexico's him and Hoovy.
Hoovy, man. For these, that reminded me, watching them reminds me of WCW.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here we go. I don't think Ray. Yeah, was Ray using Booyaka 619 at this point? This is be a throwback.
Oh, I think that's a little bit later, you know.
So like 2006 that comes in, or I like that they gave him his junior back as well. Okay, so Psychosis and Rey Mysterio Jr. in this match. We're in 33 minutes and 18 seconds again. When we get to 35 minutes, we'll do a 10-second countdown so that if anyone's out of sync with their streams, they can join us back in here.
I should have put on my Rey mask.
So, nice little Lucha Libre contest coming up.
Which arguably is, you know what, probably my favourite style of wrestling, you know?
I'm not surprised looking at your looking at your mask. I do love it, Lucha.
I don't know, it's just something about it. Like, it's like
superheroes. It's really artsy as well. Like,
it's just, yeah. It's like wrestling with Power Rangers, and then you get Lucha.
Yeah. Lovely little start here by the two of them. It's impressive, like, how a lot of these guys can work so well together, especially after all these years.
I think it's like kind of like riding a bike, isn't it? I think if you've had so many battles together, like, you could just put a match together without even thinking about it.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oy.
Rey jumping up to him there on the top of his shoulders. Roll over. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 35 minutes, everyone. What are they chanting?
Put your mask on.
Oh.
I think it was the Psychosis.
Yeah.
Which was weird. Like, I thought he was he in ECW with the mask off then? And it was only WCW with it on?
I'm not sure. Maybe he just... Yeah, I don't... Because I only really remember seeing him in WCW as well.
But he had the mask on, didn't he?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's have a look.
Because I know a few guys had the masks off.
Yeah, he's wearing the mask. When I searching videos of him now in ECW, he's wearing the mask in the matches against Rey Mysterio.
I don't know then.
I wonder why at this point he's moved away from it. Yeah, and WCW, yeah. Sleeper slowing it down.
And it's strange from a marketing point of view that, now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Rey, but Psychosis was a bigger guy. He's a bit bigger in thickness. Like, he's, I would say, almost as good, if not the same as Rey in athletic-wise and lucha. But Rey's the one that got branded as, like, the bigger name. If you know what I mean?
What, in this match, or do you mean over the history of...
Just in a career, like, when people talk about lucha wrestlers, they say that the greatest lucha of all time is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think Rey's the most successful of all time. It doesn't mean he's the best. But that's not me putting him down, because he is... Oh, my gosh, that was horrific. In a good way. The guillotine off the... Oh, so just to describe that, I mean, jumps from the top rope to the outside as Rey sitting on the guardrail and just flips straight off of it. But yeah, I think Rey's incredible. But yeah, some of the people we worked with, but maybe that's part of it. You know, it's all well and good being able to do, you know, flips a little bit better and a bit tighter looking and whatever else. But clearly that style of wrestling isn't as marketable as, you know, it kind of needs to be toned down a little bit in the WWE, you know?
Yeah, it's strange. Like, me and my son was watching, I was showing him the new guy, like Axiom. who is in NXT at the moment.
Mm.
And he watched like that, a bit of Sin Cara, and he asked where they've gone, but Rey Mysterio is still around. I said, I really don't know. It's just something about Rey that you can just mark it, whereas you can do the same thing with other guys that are masked.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't work.
I think Rey, marketability. He's got a great mask, and you got to think these people backstage. You know, some people might just get on with people better, and they might be seen as nicer, or you know, you got to think as well. Some of these might have had language barriers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that would have played a factor. Whereas Rey kind of had he ticked a lot of boxes, like a lot. And this isn't me putting him down or anything like that. It's the opposite. He's so good. Okay, so Psychosis just whacks into the pole there and then flies out the ring, flies out into the fans. But yeah, I just think
Rey's he's a one of a kind, isn't he?
Right, yeah, he's just a perfect package, you know? Because he can do, like, if you watch Rey's stuff when he is outside of WWE and he does matches like this, he's up there, you know, he's on par with the people who's doing these kind of impressive things with. But he wrestles mostly a style that can go against someone like, you know, he can face Otis and still have a good match. You know, like he can face Randy Orton and have a good match. You know, he can face Dolph Ziggler and have a good match. And then he can go and face, you know, Juventud Guerrero and have a great match, you know. So to varying degrees of luchiness, you know. Lovely West Coast pop there. The Hurricane Runner version gets the pin. Another good match, that.
He looks so young there, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. What do you think, man? This is 17 years ago.
Yeah.
How is this 17?
Crazy, isn't it? I was 14. I was 15 in that year.
I was 16. All right, here we go. Yeah. So the SmackDown stars are showing up. Kurt Angle with his ticket, but most notably behind him, JBL. When I think of these spots with the WWE guys, it's JBL that stands out to me.
Yeah.
His character worked very well with this. Obviously, he has a bit of a run-in with the Blue Meanie at this show as well.
Is it this one?
Yeah, it's at the end.
That's mad, though, isn't it? He got punished for that, though, didn't he?
Well, they faced each other on SmackDown, didn't they, as well, because of it. And I think Blue Meanie beat him as well. Funny seeing Angle, there's that famous story of Angle going to an ECW show and walking out as well.
Oh, yeah.
Before he went to WWE.
And this is what? This is probably towards the end of Angle's run? Because doesn't he go? Yeah, he goes to TNA soon, doesn't he?
2006. He joins ECW, ironically, don't he? He gets drafted to ECW. And then he leaves.
That's towards the end of that run, and then he goes to TNA, yeah.
Yeah, so it must be 06, 07. I think it's 06.
Carlito, man, what a wrestler. He was so good.
Yeah. Orlando Jordan. So they really played up to it, and credits to WWE for this. Like, they made themselves the bad guys, and of course they used heels to kind of play up to it as well.
It was great. They had the ultimate babyface in the ring as well. Just after that match, Rey Mysterio. Yeah.
All right, so some more classic clips here. For those that are watching live or on demand, want to know where we are. We're in 42 minutes and 55 seconds. Oh, there's Bubba when he used to have his stutter. That was cool.
Love that.
Rey doing the Hurricane Run after car. Thing is, this would have opened a lot of eyes to ECW, so you can see why they saw benefit in bringing it back.
Yeah.
As much as we put down Steve Austin as well as Bischoff. The like WWE again, and rightly so. They should be criticised for how they handled the rebranding and all that, but this. They did a great job here. Yes, awful, isn't it? It's hard watching this stuff back. I used to think, oh man, so cool, but
now you winced, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't. If they did this now, they wouldn't show some of this stuff as to glorify it. I don't think.
That was the first invasion, wasn't it?
Yeah, 97. So Sabu lands on his head.
Oh man,
crazy! Look at his instinct as well. Just get out of the ring. That's awful, man.
Even the ref was winching at that.
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, look at the ref there, like hiding like. I swear that whistle used to get on my nerves.
And mine, yeah.
I guess that was the point, but Junior pile driving Bueller. Saying that, from Dreamer just saying ECFNW, when I was looking at pictures from this show the other day, the WWE's photo album on the website actually. Oh yeah, she's pregnant. Such a silly little kind of like. It feels like very WWE to do a story like that. With Jerry Springer. Yeah, putting the ECFNW shirt on Tommy Jimmy was wearing. The WWE photos on WWE.com actually blur out the t-shirt, so it just says EC
really
and a massive gap then W. It's so stupid.
Wow. I have do you know what, Taz? So good. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, same. Such a shame it didn't work out for him in WWE. Like, first bit of his career in WWE, I loved as well. He comes out of this show, doesn't he? Because they used the old theme song, "Survive If I Let You." Oh, Joel Gertner. Weirdly enough, Joel Gertner now reminds me of MJF. Maybe it's because he's got something around his neck, but just some of the cockiness and the things he says, actually. Oh, that was awful as well. That was so dangerous.
Imagine if he'd gone over.
Seriously, he could have whacked his head. Like, it's so the railing is so low, and then there's a gap between the railing and thing. Like, he literally could have slipped through the next bit. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It makes you feel sorry for Joel Gertner and JBL's a twat, but it also felt a bit too real, that. So, Angle on the mic now, berating the crowd. Chicken mother talk now. All right, so we're on 48 minutes. Do a countdown when we get to 50 of 10 seconds. So anyone that isn't synced up can get synced up with us. So they do a good job with this WWE stuff to slowly build it through the night as well. It's like a long-term story throughout the day. Of course, just before this as well, they invaded on Raw, hadn't they? They'd come out on Raw.
So is this is the build for No, Invasion was earlier, wasn't it? 2001, wasn't it?
Yeah, Invasion 2001.
I just feel like they missed out on this sort of stuff for Invasion.
Well, when Invasion happened, ECW had been closed for a few months, and it was unrelated to them at the time, you know. So
wasn't that when it was Shane bought WCW, and that was that build, wasn't it?
And Steph was ECW.
ECW.
I'm hardcore. Thing is, the crowd are giving them crap because, you know, that's what they're supposed to be doing. But both of these promos are very good as well. Oh, Angle's getting his shirt off for no reason. Oh, he's going to hold up the SmackDown logo. Is that what he's doing? JBL was in a big run of his career at this point as well. He's the year before this, of course, was all the stuff with Eddie and stuff like that. Oh, there we go. Rob Van Dam. It's such a shame he couldn't wrestle on this one. Of course, the next year he gets his big moment, but
The 2005, I'm trying to think. Was that when we had the was it the SmackDown 5? No, the OVW 5 when they all come through? Like, and it really took off because we had Brock, Shelton Benjamin, Cena.
Well, no, Brock was leaving Brock left in 2004.
I'm trying to think when it was. Was it SmackDown? Was it 05 when SmackDown beat Raw? When it was SmackDown was just so good that they had to swap them over again.
Probably
because Heyman was booking SmackDown, wasn't it?
But 2003 is probably when it was.
Was it 2003? I'm trying to think when the year was. But I remember you had Cena, Rey, Eddie, Benoit, Kurt Angle, JBL.
Yeah, I'd say 2003 to 2005 is probably then.
That was his peak moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Fonzie's so annoying.
This is Paul Heyman also does a promo in it because this is when he says to JBL, the only reason why you've been champ is because Triple H don't want to work Tuesdays or whatever it was.
Paul Heyman's reaction after that, his face is like perfect meme quality. It's so good.
Definitely a different style show, like we were saying earlier. He's just talking about not having writers to kind of write his script. It's funny, take a little shot there, but I wonder who RVD would have faced if he wasn't injured at this show.
I have no idea. It was like really big.
Because even though he has his big moment in 2006, it's not an ECW match, is it? It's a ECW versus WWE type match.
Mm-hmm. I think I don't know. I reckon if he was able to wrestle, I think it would have been RVD versus Sabu, not Rhino versus Sabu.
Yeah, true. And then wonder what Rhino would have done then.
I don't know. Probably be involved in the Dudleys versus Tommy Dreamer and Sandman. I'm amazed that they bleeped that, bearing in mind it's got a rage of 18.
Yeah. It's really kind of shooting at WWE here. See, I mean, back in the day, the company's only been closed 4 years. I know it is prime, you know, they're probably back in the day, Tim, he's probably talking 97, 98, 99, 2000, but even that's not even under, not even 10 years. Do you think they ever really got close to doing a WCW one? I know there were a lot of rumors back then, but
don't know.
Do you think it was too sore of a subject for WWE?
Yeah, I reckon, because it just seems like do you remember when they bought Nitro after the invasion? They had a couple of guys come, or whatever it was. They just bought WCW, and they would change the canvas, and they put Nitro to main event, and it just didn't work. Fans didn't care.
Nope.
I think with ECW, there was a different kind of love for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it was the tribal kind of thing as well. So, for those joining us live and on demand, if you've lost sync with us, you want to sync back up. We're in 58 minutes and 10 seconds. When we get to an hour, we'll count down 10 seconds if you want to join us from there. But RVD's currently in the ring doing a very heartfelt promo with Bill Alfonso. Going back to the WCW rumors, I remember when Mania was in Atlanta. And around then, people thought there'd be a WCW theme to it. And even that was what, 2011 or something like that. So that would have been 10 years. Well, yeah, about 10 years. Here we go. Rhino's in the ring. Gore, flipping egg. He took that like a champ.
So what's crazy to think that's happening now. RVD's legit injured, right? But if they had a wrestler injured now, not even a chat, they wouldn't even let him in the ring.
It looks. I don't wonder where he is in his recovery at this point. Here we go. Lights out. Sabu. ECW loved the lights out moment. Here we go. You love that Joey Styles like, oh, thinking it's trying to pretend he thinks there's a real power issue, as if this didn't happen every 2 weeks in ECW. Right, so we're on 59 minutes and 25 seconds again. When we're 10 seconds away from an hour, I will count it down so we can all sync back up. Oh, so it's an impromptu match. It's not actually, wasn't advertised then.
It's crazy to think that every time I look at Rhino now, I just think with him and him with Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, yeah. We'll do our countdown to an hour. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 hour mark, everybody. Yeah, you're right. It's I always really liked Rhino. I think he was so exciting to. I always say it, when you want to be someone in the game, that's when you know they're a fun wrestler. I used to love trying to do the gore. Oh my gosh.
Oh my days. I used to have a debate, right? Do you think getting smacked over the head the way Rhino was then is hurts more or less than when Sabu would just throw the chariot?
Sabu diving out of the ring there. It depends, because when he throws the chair, it comes at such a weird angle. It could really hurt. You know?
Yeah. But I don't know. I always think just being a chair being thrown in your face is going to hurt more than being.
Yeah, because it's the force of it, and a lot of times you'd be kind of unexpected as well. So,
no. Force times speed, E equals MC squared or whatever it is.
There we go. Yeah, just on cue. Throws at him. Okay, so we're setting up a table now. Rhino's got like one of the most interesting body shapes in WWE history, I think. You know, he's so like huge.
Is it because he's big, but he's quite short?
Yeah, he's just like, he's quite thick, you know, like
it's like kind of like Taz.
Yeah, but more in shape than Taz though. But then Taz, I don't know.
I think
Taz, not in shape, like more kind of defined muscles is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think with Taz, that he's because of the way his singlet was, he looked like his legs were shorter. Do you know what I mean? He made it look like his legs were longer.
So, yeah, they always make
that's my biggest wrestling pet peeve, you know.
What, wrestlers not wearing knee pads?
It drives me crazy. Wear knee pads. Like, just one, for your own protection, and two, it just thickens your leg up. It looks weird when it's just long. It does.
It thickens your leg up.
It does. It does.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so we got Rhino on the top rope here. Sabu's working on him in the corner. Jumps up to the rope. We're going to get Hurricane Rhino. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Beautiful.
Rhino goes over. Springboards. Slingshot leg lariat, as Joey Styles calls it. Okay, so we're 1 hour and 3 minutes here. When we get to 1 hour 10, I'll do another 10-second countdown, but we're currently in the middle of the Rhino versus Sabu match. Rhino's in the corner, Sabu's jumping up off the chair. I used to love that. Oh, and then Rhino falls straight onto the chair. Perfectly sold that.
Fonzie's throwing Sabu chairs like that guy throws Steve Austin beers.
Oh! Drop toe hold onto the chair there. Sabu's head straight on it. So Rhino's wearing the singlet with his spelt name with a Y. His name spelt, not his spelt name. His name spelt with a Y
You're
instead
right.
of the I here. Because then in ECW, of course, he only spelt it with, well, how you'd spell the animal. Same as Taz, of course, one Z, and then gets to WWE. They had another one.
Oi!
Replay there of Sabu's head hitting the chair. All right, so Rhino set up for the Gore, surely. Oh, Gore's the ref.
Oi.
Power driver there. The referee, yeah. Oh, Van Damme's in the ring. Careful, mate. Oh my gosh, he threw it in his face. I thought he was going to go for the Van Damme.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, good, don't do that.
Is it Van Daminator or Van Terminator as well?
Van Terminator is the one where it's coast to coast.
Is it?
Yeah. No, that's Van Damme.
That's coast to coast, isn't it?
No, that's Van Terminator. Here we go.
Oh.
I'm sure. So he basically did that one. It's the running one, that, isn't it? Rather than top rope. Van Terminator. Let's have a look. Yeah, Van Terminator is the one where he jumps coast to coast. Van Daminator is the one
when he throws the chair, jumps and kicks.
Yeah, I used to love that move, man. Van Daminator.
That was my go-to finish, for a blood match in the old wrestling games.
Mate, I used to try and do that. I mean, this is just reminding me of backyard wrestling, to be fair. One bad thing, I guess, that come from ECW's height. But then again, some good wrestlers come out of doing backyarding, and I enjoyed it. But I probably did a lot of stupid things I shouldn't have done. There we go. So Sabu picks up the win there after jumping with a chair onto Rhino through the table. Good that RVD got to do this. I always forget that. I always think he just did the promo.
Yeah. I said I'm getting my head mixed up with 05 and 06s, so I can't remember what's going on.
Yeah, 06 is if Cena wins with Riot, of course.
That's more of a WWE that one as well. Style one, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's a little bit. It's still good. But of course, the reason why we're doing this in the first place, as we mentioned earlier on, at time of recording, Extreme Rules is coming up. And they start moving into things like calling ECW related things Extreme Rules, and the Extreme Rules match comes from this. And then that leads into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which of course, still to this very day, I think people forget that now. Like, Extreme Rules is still the legacy of One Night Stand, So
yeah. Do you
and ECW?
I agree. I do agree. Speaking of Extreme Rules, obviously, what's coming up for the PLE that's coming up this next week. Is it next? When is it? Next week?
About 2 weeks, I think, isn't it?
2 weeks. Right. Did you see the leg drop that Liv Morgan done?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did, yeah.
Man,
cool.
that looked naughty. It was kind of reminiscent to what we just see with Sabu, minus the chair.
Yeah. No, it was good. I was surprised they did it on SmackDown. Of course,
yeah.
A lot of things going on lately. We've talked about this in our other shows, and we'll be talking more current stuff very soon. So stay tuned and subscribe. Here we go. We've got Al Snow backstage now with Head. I really liked Al Snow. All right, so another promo package here. What are we on? 1 hour 8 minutes 26 seconds. So when we get to 1 hour 10, I'll give us a 10-second countdown on the way there. Clips here at the BWO. Oh yeah, Bam Bam and
Oh
Taz
man,
through the ring. Raven. Oh mate, I love Raven. Did you see he's just been inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame?
has he?
Yeah, it's just got announced that he's going to be at Bound for Glory. That was cool as well.
I remember
Again,
that,
Bam
man.
Bam
That
and
was
Taz,
so
yeah.
good.
Going through the ramp this time. That
That's the Van
photographer looked like
Terminator.
Sandra Bullock. So what?
That was the Van Terminator, wasn't it? From the coast to
Yeah.
coast.
Taz no sells. There you go. Lights out. Cool shot though, isn't it? Like when it comes back on,
Amazing.
Taz arm folded, Sabu
Just there.
pointing up. Okay, back to the shots of the live crowd. Now the Raw side are showing up. We've got Edge on his hands on the shoulders of Eric Bischoff there. Oh, did you hear that? What Joey
No, I
Styles
didn't.
just said about Edge. Good job that bring my wife tonight because of it later.
Oh. It was a risky move, you know. With like how boisterous the fans are and allowing the guys just to walk through.
Yeah, spat at Bischoff there.
He was used to that in WCW.
What's that?
He must have been used to that after WCW.
What, the fans?
Yeah. Do you remember, like, Bischoff would walk out and he'd just have stuff thrown at him.
Oh, yeah. Snitsky, Regal.
Gene Snitsky.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's a good thing they can play off of as well. Like, yeah, Bischoff's past with WCW, like as Foley just said, you know, the contracts he would buy up and stuff like that. You know, he tried to do it with, of course, he did it with Benoit, Guerrero. He did it with Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, but he also, people forget, he tried to do it with the Sandman, who came in as Hack. He tried to do it with Sabu, and them two didn't quite work out, but Jonathan Coachman. Right. Okay, here we go. So as just like we did when we did the 2002 SummerSlam watch along, we got to mention the elephant in the room. We're now about to watch a Chris Benoit match. I guess it should be said that anything we say here is purely about Chris Benoit, the professional wrestler. For obvious reasons, we won't be diving into much else that happens in this man's life beyond this point. But let's enjoy this match at least with the great Eddie Guerrero. Looking back again on that time, Rob, I mentioned earlier on, these are two ECW. Sorry, I'm mixing it all up now. WWE guys at the time representing their WCW and ECW past in some way in this as well, the story they had together there. But I remember really enjoying this match. As much as I said, like with Jericho earlier and Rey, feels like we're just watching a WWE match in some ways. And I remember at the time when this match started, I most felt like with this one, thinking, oh, this is just a SmackDown match. But when you kind of step back and you look at the history between the two guys, there we go. Live cheat still. This is heel Eddie Guerrero, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is after he's won the title. He's such a good heel as well, though.
Crazy to think that he was a cruiser, and the size of him there, you wouldn't believe that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is sad, man. Of course, we mentioned, I said we're not going to go too far into the Benoit thing because it's been spoken about so often. But, within 2 years, both these guys are gone.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, later this year is when Eddie dies, isn't it? Or is it 2006 that he dies?
I think it was 05.
It's November, isn't it? Is it November 05 or 06? Let's have a look.
I think it was 05. Because I know they'd done the promo with Batista and Rey.
Yeah, 2005. Yeah, so what? July, August, September, October, November. 5 months later. We talked earlier about watching that video package about all the people that had passed away and how sad and scary it was that it was also frequent and within a certain time span. And it's like it wasn't over, man.
Yeah, I mean, think saying that. I mean, you said Candido had died that year or just prior to this pay-per-view. And then a few months after, Eddie had gone. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I wonder how Eddie's look on wrestling would be now if he was still with us. Like, his take on things.
Yeah, I think he'd be... I'm trying to think. Would he still be... I think he'd still be wrestling.
But I don't know, man.
I think he would have slowed down. I think he might come back for big things. I don't know. Because it felt like
would he be like...
Go on.
Jericho? I'd say, would he be like the
Jericho
Jericho
that's what
still
I was trying
going,
to compare it to. I do think he would have started to wind things down in the late before 2010s, I think. I think he would have started to, because of his family and stuff like that. I don't know. It's hard to say, innit? It's hard to guess, but, I didn't know him personally or anything like that. But if you look at some of the interviews and stuff like that from the years before this, the way he is and where he talks about his family, I feel like I wouldn't have been surprised if that's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, Heyman really gave these guys, Jericho, Malenko, a platform really to get spotted and noticed in America. And then that kind of leads them on to WCW, then leads them on to WWE, so... All right, so if you've not long joined us and you're not synced up with us at the moment, we're in the match between Benoit and Guerrero. It is 1 hour, 17 minutes and 45 seconds. When we get to 1 hour 20, we'll have a 10-second countdown just before if you want to join us. If you're on the network or Peacock or however it is, you will get your stream of ECW One Night Stand. Join in. Let us know what your thoughts on the show are. If you've seen it before, what your memories of it are, at the time. It's interesting, though, as we mentioned earlier on, of course, they do one in 2006. And then the brand gets relaunched. But then even after that, they move away from... the show because the brand's back. There's no need to do ECW One Night Stand 2007 because there is an ECW brand at that point, so
yeah, but it wasn't as good, was it? It was
no,
it was a WWE version of ECW.
Yeah, they tried to make it a third brand, and then it was like a weird mix of developmental and kind of, but a lot of things just kind of went wrong. Like there were good things about the end days of that version of ECW. You know, Sheamus debuted there. Kofi Kingston got a chance to shine.
CM Punk, which is another
CM
one.
Punk, Jack Swagger. Like it was, there were good things about it. It was just called the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas at first they did try and remember they had the Elimination Chamber with all the weapons, you know, December to December. Like, and that got such bad pay-per-view buys that they just gave up on it. Like, so Guerrero cut open bad here on the nose.
It's one of the worst things, you know, blood and sweat in the eye. Because it impairs your vision. So, you know, props to him for carrying on the way he does. Although I don't think anything will be worse than the feud that he had with JBL with the two bad blade jobs.
My gosh, yeah.
Eddie went and then JBL went after. Oh my days.
All right, so we're on 1 hour 20 now. We didn't count it down. Sorry about that. On 1 hour 21, if you want, I'll count us down from 10 seconds on 1 hour 20:50 to get us to 1 hour 21. But thank you for those that are watching with us live. Anyone that watches on demand, again, really do appreciate it. If you're new here, check out more of our content, Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We've got interviews that have gone up recently with our time in Cardiff, interviewing a lot of the WWE stars at the around Clash of the Castle, things like that. So yeah, check those out if you haven't already.
You also met someone that become a mannequin for the duration of one of the interviews, which is
Street Profits one. Yeah, check that out. It's interesting.
Probably my favorite interview that you've ever done. You know.
Oh wait, let me do the countdown. We're on ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 121. Okay, yeah. Going back to that interview, we'll have to. I'm thinking we might do a video to kind of talk about the behind the scenes of that as well.
Yeah, and there needs to be one because I've got so many questions.
Soon, speaking of behind the scenes on the main Rebellious Noise channel, of course, this is the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, but we still have some wrestling themed content on the main channel as well. We should be uploading a little behind the scenes of our trip in Cardiff as well, as far as what it's like to go to one of these events as a member of press and kind of hopefully you'll see a few familiar faces in that as well. So keep your eyes peeled here and on the main Rebellious Noise channel for that. All right, so Guerrero's lifting Benoit on top the turnbuckle. Looks like going to go for a superplex. Whew. Oh, powerful one, that. See, WWE were lucky that, like I said, there were certain big names not on it, like Raven and Terry Funk, but they were lucky that they're the good kind of a good amount of people under contract already, and could have a good relationship with certain talents that they could kind of bring in as a one-off or bring back or whatever. Ooh. So Guerrero misses the frog splash there. Hard shot there to Guerrero.
Oh.
Right back on the belt. Chop for chop here. Lovely bridge there.
That was lovely. It's one of my favorite finishes, you know.
What, Northern Lights suplex?
Yeah, like I don't know why. It's just if you do it right, especially with that, and then hooking the leg, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like when Mr. Perfect done it. Whew,
No, I
it
know what
was
you mean.
perfect. Do you know what I mean? There was something about it. It just looked
Yeah.
great.
Going for the cover here, and Guerrero kicks out. Second German there. Of course, going to go for the third here. Just going to go diving headbutt. Yeah.
That's very close as well. Normally, he has a lot more like of a leap, doesn't he?
Yeah. There are like two types. Yeah, like the one where you go the pogo sort of forward, and the kind of falling one like that.
That's such a wrestling story, isn't it? You should never do that move again because it'll affect you. So instead of going, okay, they just do it anyway.
Well, as Foley just said, that's about a neck injury, and of course,
Yeah,
people do play into the whole what happened to Benoit's health, and trying to attribute that to the headbutt. I think that's an easy thing to do because it's like it's his finisher, one of his finishers, using his head, can't be safe. But realistically, most times he wouldn't make contact with that. So, like I'm sure he did a lot of times. I'm sure when there was times where he was meant to miss or he lands on a chair, they actually did hit his head, but no more so than he probably would have done for other moves during the match. Because they say the same thing about Dynamite Kid because it was his finisher as well. But there we go. Guerrero taps anyway.
You notice how tight he had that in as well, the crippler crossface. Whereas nowadays you see that he's in, but it doesn't look as restrictive on the neck.
Yeah,
it's such a different time in that wrestling. Like when Cena started doing the STFU, and it was tight, and then later on, like when he done it against Umaga, it was tight, and then later on in his career, it's not.
Yeah. So as always, a bit of an awkward part of the stream where we have to talk about a Benoit match, but again, just professionally speaking, as a match, very good. Good performance as many of his matches would have been. And again, great from Eddie there. That's a bit of a strange cut. It just fades into... Yeah. So something's been cut there. Joel Gertner's back. It just faded in. I feel like... Did they shake hands or something? But why would they cut that? I don't know. Something's been cut there anyway. Okay, Joel Gertner's now gone to Bischoff. Oh, he froze the drink on it, don't he? Begging for a job. There we go. It's got to be a Chester. Scab. That's such a weird insult. You're a scab.
All right. It is strange.
I've never heard anyone say that. Like Americans, I've never heard anyone else say it. All right, we're on 1 hour, 28 and 45 seconds. When we get to 1 hour and a half, I'll give us a 10-second countdown just before, just in case you want to sync up your stream of ours. Of course, we're doing ECW One Night Stand 2005, the first one they did. And then right now, we've got Bischoff doing a scathing promo on ECW.
Yeah, the scab.
The scab. Oh, what a waste of a good beer.
That's what I was about to say. Although it's probably Coors Light, so it's not really beer.
I don't mind Coors Light.
It's like tap water with a bit of orange juice in it.
All right. Let the borders hit the floor. All right, so here we go. See the Empire State Building in the background there. We're here at the Manhattan Center, Hammerstein Ballroom.
Have you been to that arena then? Because I know you've been in New York, haven't you? Have you not?
Yeah, I've been past it, but I haven't been in. Sadly. All right, so we're 1 hour 29 and 46 seconds. I'll count us down in a sec. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 hour and a half is where we're at on the stream. If you are joining us now, we've got Mike Awesome in the ring. I remember this being a very good match. Again, sadly, another person that we lose not many years after this. I feel awkward about saying this, but I should probably bring it up. There's a very awkward line in this where Joey Styles says it's a shame he didn't take his own life when he hits the suicide dive, because, of course, Mike Awesome eventually, sadly, does end up taking his own life. Now, that's not really on Joey Styles. Of course, he was not to know that. Joey's really playing up to the whole Judas idea, because Mike Awesome, of course, left ECW in a bit of a vulnerable state, was a big star, and then went to WCW, as many people did, to be fair. But I know a lot of people in ECW took it personally. So,
do you know what? Speaking of Mike Awesome, I've got which is weird because my son now has it, but I've got a Mike Awesome wrestling figure. But you squeeze his legs and he does the power bomb move. Like
I think I had that.
Man, it's so good, so good. Like I loved it because you could put the wrestler in the move and
it does that. Yeah. I had the DD Pete one, which weren't as good, and he does that.
Yeah, I had that too.
But like the only thing you could really do is put the diamond cutter on him or something, like to wrestle with him. So of course, Mike Awesome versus Tanaka here. Again, I remember this being a really good match. There we go. It's calling him Judas there.
Oh,
lovely shoulder charge there.
It was so good, wasn't it, Mike Awesome?
Yeah. Here's the spot, I think. Yeah. Oosh. Right, awkward thing out the way, and I felt bad bringing it up because I'm sure Joey Styles regrets that comment. But I'd imagine feels uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's confident and he knew what he was doing. He's playing a role.
Yeah.
And they weren't to know at the time, but it's just we can't not mention it.
Again, it's the same with the Benoit thing. It's spoken about because it's a part of the history. Oh man,
flipping heck, that was a rough chair shot. Like again, you forget what I used to love this stuff. So I was a bit worried about would some of it hold up.
Do you think you're now less used to it because we don't see it as often on TV?
Yeah, 100%. And we spoke about this before, I think, in a podcast, and I think on Talking Beans as well, how they've conditioned us to feel uncomfortable, I think, with blood and chair shots. I mean, it seems obvious now, the chair shot. Like I mentioned the backyard wrestling earlier, the stupid things I did as a kid growing up, like hit myself over the head with stuff and whatever,
all right, Sandman.
Yeah, well, and that's on me, but I was copying this sort of thing, so... But, I'm sure I weren't the only one. So it's a shame. But we look back at a lot of this and, I'm sure a lot of these guys won't do this anymore. like you think about the Mankind and the Rock one, Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
Quick match. It's just, I used to think that was so cool,
That was brutal, man.
It was.
Remember this being this is the spot in it.
The powerbomb through the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So it's a bit rough looking. It does worry me for Tanaka's neck.
I think it's because he doesn't go flat, isn't it?
Yeah,
he goes to the side.
He's not fully lifted either. He's like leaned on it, but cool though. Yeah, Mike Awesome was a great talent.
Oh.
Splash.
What a splash. Usos would be proud of that splash, I'll tell you. Speaking of, not that I like to plug other people's merchandise. However, WWE, the honorary Us, if
mate, so cool, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, speaking of which, if you do want to hear us talk current affairs in wrestling at the time of recording, lovely powerbomb there. We are on the road to, I guess you could say, to Extreme Rules. So we'll be covering that in depth on this channel as we do with all the major PLEs. Then, of course, Crown Jewel after that. And then we're going into Survivor Series season as well. While we're at it, I might actually make a quick announcement.
There we go.
I've been thinking, Rob, that the next here we go. Missed with the chair. He also missed with the chair. Oh no.
Oh my days.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I even reacted this much when I was watching this when I was younger. I don't think I would have been this shocked. Like, I would have been like, oh, that was hard. Oh, that looked cool. And it's the fact that he's just carrying on.
He's still going.
He doesn't even seem phased by it, Tanaka. I mean, not all of these blows to the head are going to be damaging. Like, not all of them will be super risky. It's just a risk. Well, it's a risky thing to do, I should say. But like, sometimes you're going to hit in a certain place, like in the face, and it's not exactly going to give you brain damage. But the risk factor is too high. Tornado DDT onto the chairs there, which you could probably still do and safely, as much as you can safely do that. Saying that, of course, Cody had the one with Sean Spears.
Yeah, that was vicious.
About a year or so ago now, wasn't it? And they were like, look, we're going to do a legit one, but we know how to kind of safely do it. And it went totally wrong. Two count there.
Oh, man.
Michaelson
I actually thought it was over them.
Yeah. Flipping it. I'm a bit on edge in this match.
I tell you, I don't think, did we ever get to see JBL versus Mike Awesome?
No, but yeah, I could see what
you imagine?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a release, German, incredible spear. See, I remember this is a great match, man. And I don't think people would have expected it either, because it's easy to forget how good Mike Awesome was. And Tanaka, not really a big star that gets talking about a lot or anything like that, but great performances from the both of them here. Oh gosh. I feel really uncomfortable. I feel like a bit of a wimp. I think if I saw myself acting like this 15 years ago, 17 years ago when this was on, I'd be like, Scott, get over yourself. But I think hindsight, I'm like, nah, man. Like,
I mean, it gets a bit more brutal later on, so I'm interested to see. I
literally just got a shiver. Right, Michael's just sitting on the table. Right, as we got a little bit of respite there, I'll go back to what I was going to say there. Rob.
Yes.
With these classic watch-alongs, of course, we want to get people's opinions. We want to know what they would like us to do next. But I've got one in mind, Rob. What do you think when it's coming to Survivor Series season that we do Survivor Series 2002? So the first Elimination Chamber, 20th anniversary since that show as well. How do you feel about that?
I'm down. I'm always happy to do it. I feel like doing a watch-along is so much easier than doing like a prediction. One, because all we've got to do is just talk about this.
Think.
No, exactly.
Just say what you see. But yeah, no. Look forward to that. Again, if you're new here, subscribe. If you're not, keep an eye open. Turn on the bell and all that good stuff for notifications as well. And you'll see when we do announce the date for that one there. But yeah, looking forward to doing another watch along soon. Tornado DDT top rope through a table there. See, this was fun as well, watching JBL react.
Oh my day, I thought it was over. Yeah, but going back to what you said about doing that Survivor Series, that is my favourite version of Kane.
Oh, with the belts.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the 3/4 mask and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That is my favourite version. So good.
I like the original version the best, but I like that version as well.
Is that with the before the voice box?
yeah.
That one.
Kane's so strange, like the fact that first, like, he had one arm.
Man, he could have. Imagine if he'd landed on that. On that leg. Up. Oh my god.
That's mad. That was it, right? Yeah, panic. We go back to Kane. Yeah, first he had just one good arm, and he had the makeup on to pretend his face was burnt. Then he couldn't speak. Then he could speak. Then he got more of his face. Then he got two arms and his chest. And then he took his top off. Then he took his mask off. Then he had no hair. It was like they just gradually got rid of that whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was a great healing job there. Like just one thing after the other got better. Well done, Kane.
Is this the bit where we get the spot when he does the powerbomb through the? I'm sure he sets it up between something, right? The ring and.
Does he lean it? Yeah, that's why he's pushing back there. Yeah. So Mike Awesome didn't get a contract from this, did he?
No, I don't think so. Which is crazy, because I mean, Super Crazy got one, which is great. But as I said, Mike Awesome versus JBL. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Tanaka slides out of it. Awesome gets him up again. This is it. It's going to throw him out the ring. Oh! Okay, pinfall outside the ring. I forget. He jumps out. Now, the camera doesn't fully get that. And he lands a bit awkwardly as well. Like, it's not very graceful. But the impact of it, and the strange camera angle kind of add to it, weirdly enough. Because he just, out of nowhere, just comes into the shot. You know?
Because you're just seeing Tanaka sit there or lay there. Then you think, oh, well, it's going to pan to Awesome getting him back in the ring. Like just hearing a thud and seeing his body just land.
You don't see him fly. He's just there.
Which is what I like about. I think if you'd have seen it from a hard cam, you would have been ready for it.
It's not the best way to do it. It's not. It is a mistake, but it actually works in their favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I like it like that. You know?
Yeah. I'd be raging if I was the producer, but it just powerbombed the ref as well. But it actually worked. Yeah, that's such a good match, man. Let's have a look, see what Mike Awesome did do next. He dies in February 2007. Sadly, you know, again, not even 2 years later.
It's things like that, though, that seeing a match like this makes me want to go back and watch more of what Mike Awesome done, because I didn't see much of it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I forget it was part of the invasion, yeah. Yeah, it's part of the invasion, but that is it as far as his WWE career. That was it. They just say the last thing returns to WWE, as in 2005 for this. I think this might be his last match.
Wow. Well, if you're going to have a last match, man, that's one way to go out.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, Rise and Fall of ECW, great documentary, by the way. It only just come out not long before this. I think 2004 that might have been out.
I love Joey there, like looking for his papers to see what's going on next. He just looks so shocked at what was happening.
Is this Paul Heyman, this bit?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, I don't know, actually.
Right, I'm trying to see Mike Awesome's last match. Just have a little. That's going the wrong way. That's to his first match.
That's something else you don't see as well. Sorry, it was them just sweeping the ring out of debris. And then everything else is just on, and he's just sweeping the ring out of debris.
So in 2004, he was doing a lot of Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh wow!
And and then his last match was 2005 at One Night Stand. So man, like you say, what a way to go out. But
yeah,
I would say well, how did he not get a contract out of that? But then we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe he did. Maybe he said no. But at the same time, they'd already used him in WWE, so maybe they thought, well, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine that. Like, you use him for that awful invasion angle. Then he comes back for One Night Stand, does a match like that, which is a stellar match. You can't argue. And then nothing. You would think that's the sort of person, especially with like people, JBL rising at that moment, Cena being around. That's like a perfect guy that you could have either be a face or a heel going against him. Like, it would have been good booking.
Tanaka, let's see what he did next. It was at One Night Stand 2006. Yeah, lost to Balls Mahoney. Made his debut for All Japan in 2010. Dragon Gate USA in 2014. Game Changer Rest GCW in 2018. So yeah, not much though. All right, so Paul Heyman's in the ring. We're on 1 hour 45 and 48 seconds.
Probably my favorite Paul Heyman promo, you know.
I'm trying to think. There's another one I like. Oh, the one where he's in the ring with Vince is good as well. So a lot of thank yous here from Paul Heyman. It's funny when he got rid of his trademark ponytail. Now you don't even think about it anymore. Same as when Triple H got short hair. You know, people forget now. It just seems so normal him having short hair.
Did you see the Edge and Christian had their Totally Reeks of Totally Reeks of Awesomeness video thing on the network, and they do this thing of who stole Paul Heyman's ponytail, and they go on like this. Remember?
Yeah, that was a good show. I enjoyed that.
It was.
There we go. He's going to shoot. Oh, there we go. Points up to JBL and the rest of the Raw and SmackDown team. Oh no, it's focusing on Bischoff first. Good point. Yeah. Bischoff's at an ECW show here. No return at WCW. It's mad to think a few years ago. Remember, both of these got returned to write for Raw and SmackDown, and it just finished within like 2 weeks. Maybe it's just it's not off. Time's moved on. Like football. Great managers, sometimes the game moves on beyond them. So, but there you go. Another comment about Edge. Doesn't he spit out a drink here? Yeah, he does.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Hydra, as I said, he says, but you screw Matt. So yeah, that was 3 words as they're pointing out. Matt freaking Hardy. Let's have a look at this. So when does the Matt Hardy Edge thing? Does Matt gone at this point? I'm trying to remember what part of. Right, so it's released in April. And he returns in July. Okay, so yeah, at this stage. But they played his theme song during the Edge and Lita Not to Get Married thing in June of the same year. So yeah. Here we go. Is the comment about Triple H in it?
Mm-hmm.
I knew he's in your WWE chat for years because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Love that. That's probably one of my favorite Paul Heyman lines, you know.
Yeah. What's JBL saying there?
Is he saying Elizabeth?
That's what I thought. He can get people ramped up, can't he?
Yeah.
Great promo there from Paul Heyman. You had to see it. There's a lot of promos on this show, but it works because, you know, it's a tribute show almost. So, no, really good to see that. Good promo, as good as I remembered. So that's nice. Most of the show, I've got to say, man, it's holding up, to be fair.
It is. It really
kind
is.
of moments where I've winced over kind of spots that are dangerous, but yeah, other than that.
So what I like though is it's very good after it's a hard hitting match with like Mike Awesome and Tanaka. You get that promo to kind of drop the crowd down at the end of
rather
it to
than
bring
the
them
match.
back up.
And
And
rather
then
than the match that puts people off. Yeah,
exactly.
Here we go. Dudley boys.
Do you know what? I absolutely hate this Dudley boy music.
Oh, I like it.
I like, you know, the one before that when they
drop the bombshell.
Yeah.
Get up. That's a bit too techno for me. I like the original one though. I think this is their last match as well.
Yeah, because they were split, weren't they, for the brand split, put back together again.
Yeah, but I think they leave WWE after this. Let's have a look. Yeah, in July, WWE opted not to continue contract renewals with the Dudley Boys. Yeah, this is their final appearance in WWE. Mad. Because this is a great match as well.
Yeah, it's just solid.
So it's mad. Yeah, their last WWE match is actually an ECW match. Like until they come back. And they don't even come back until well, as a team anyway, until like that feud, you know, when Enzo and Cass come in and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh man, that was because they feuded New Day, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that run that's it. Because obviously Bubba come back at the Rumble, Devon weren't there.
Am I muted? I'm not, am I?
No, I can hear.
Good. I thought I muted my mic.
No, you're good. Unless I missed it and I weren't looking at you and you were talking.
I pressed it, and I was like, "Am I talking to myself?" It's been a long day, man.
All right, so Tommy Dreamer, I love this. Now it ain't gonna be as good now because I doubt they're gonna play it in the Sandman. I'm sure they've. I've seen the dubbed version of it before this entrance, so. But the way the music fades in, Tommy Jr. stands there with his hands rubbing together, his eyes light up, and the fans just cheer. It is so good, and then the Sandman hits and the kind of build up for that. You can't replicate it with stop music.
No, I will say something. I will say something controversial in a minute.
Okay.
But it's an honest opinion. But
All
we'll
right.
wait. We'll wait.
I'm ready for it, though. Yeah. Goosebumps, he says. How did I edit it? There we go. Okay. Right, anyway. So, yeah, it's not going to be in the Sandman. So, it's just this stock music, which is not a bad song itself, but
it's still got that vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, and I've seen other versions dubbed as well, where they try so hard, but when the whole crowd are singing, but no, I've actually seen this version a little while ago. Actually, I think I saw it on YouTube, where they even put fake crowd noise over it because usually they can't even cover because they're singing the words and stuff like that and whatever. But this one, they cut the sing, so they're all shouting and you can see them doing it, but nothing is matching up, you know? It's like the Thunderdome.
All right, I'll be controversial.
You can hear it faintly in the background. You can hear the drums.
Yeah.
So legendary entrance here. They would always do anyway, but the one that stand is iconic, you know. Kendo stick to the head. Fan was hitting himself with a kendo stick as well. Drinking the beer, smashing it off his head, bleeding already. Enter Sandman, so they say. Go on, let's go with your controversial take then, Rob.
All right, so look, I absolutely love Sandman.
Okay.
The intro, the way he's present, everything about him. However, I always felt, even when I was younger, if you take away his kendo stick, he's not the greatest wrestler. And then when he went to WWE,
he's not. He isn't. But that's fine.
He just didn't perform. Do you know what I mean? And
look, he had good performances for his style, but like it was, you know, a lot of what he does is quite sloppy. It's spotty, it's hardcore. He's putting his body on the line. He's doing weird stuff like when he put the ladder on his head and kind of helicopter and stuff like that. You know, like that's the kind of thing Sandman does, and it's about the entrance and that. Like, but he thrived in ECW. It worked in ECW. It wouldn't work anywhere else. Like that's why Hack in WCW didn't really work. His WWE run, while kind of was all right because he could do some of this stuff, it didn't really amount to much after it when they did limit that, you know. And I think WWE, other wrestlers would know that. They probably wanted to make him look bad and whatever else, but that's cool. Putting the replica ECW title up against him as well.
But yeah,
so
absolutely loved his intro. I had a Sandman figure, I think. I'm sure I did.
I had a Hack figure.
Did you?
From WCW, where he come with a like a drinks cart, a soda cart, as the Americans would say, and you press the little cans, and they would pop out, and they were on this like silver foil, kind of like a swingy thing, and it was so weird, like, but it would pop out basically. I don't know if that was meant to be the spray of the drinks or what, but
I don't know.
Okay, right, here we go. Sandman getting in there with the lady up close and personal. I hope they knew each other.
I mean, couldn't do that now.
Well, she's allowing it, I guess, but going for another one as well. Dream is going to do it this time. Oh no, this one here, yeah, they're former ECW people because I remember they mentioned this one here, so it's their way of getting them on the show.
Oh, there you go.
such an awkward edit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you think they paid for the rights to have it that day? Why could they not pay for it to reproduce it? See Devon dancing in the ring.
Unless it's a different kind of rights. Like, I don't know if it's because
Yeah, I think it is, but
playing it to then streaming it is different, isn't it?
But it would have been live though. But it's just, I guess, selling it on DVD and reproducing it. Like, I remember Kid Rock, when he performed at 25, he did like a whole what do you call it? He did a whole like medley of his hits, and then the last one was what all the divas entered to, as they would have been known at the time, for the 25-woman battle royal, whatever it was, the one that Santina ended up winning. But they all entered to his song because it was like the theme for that match or something. And then on the DVD and on the network, they cut it so that they're just pretty much in the ring already. It's like, why would you have this big deal not to? And then, you know what I mean? Like, surely you can come up with a deal. Like, he's literally there performing. But don't think I didn't see that pizza, by the way, mate. You're making me hungry now.
The wife brought it in very quietly for me.
You've joined the full-blooded Italians all of a sudden. Now you're the Italian luchador.
Is that a thing? Do we have one of them?
Yeah, you, mate.
Half Italian, half Samoan.
Samoan? Where'd you get Samoan from? Oh, because you're one of the Usos now.
Yeah. Honorary, innit?
Of course, you were the first honorary. They just didn't know about it. Nice show of respect between the four there.
That little shuffle from Devon there. I love that.
Oh, here we go. BWO time. So that's it. Like, these get hired after this as well. Stevie was always. I always liked Stevie Richards. I thought he was great.
See, I didn't mind him. I prefer him like this than I did, the Right to Censor.
Steven Richards, yeah.
Oh.
But that worked though. Like, again,
no, it drove me crazy, man.
Yeah, but that's it because you were a kid, though, isn't it? You're supposed to feel that way.
It does that now. just that.
Yeah, but like
everything
when Ivory come out like that a few years ago, the Rumble, that was cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
That version of Ivory, the Good Father, Bull Buchanan.
But then Bull Buchanan became seen as hype man, didn't he? B squared.
Yeah.
I don't think I could start that Daisy Dukes,
So it reminds me, because of course after this, Stevie spends a lot of time in TNA. Does quite well there as well. But it does remind me again, like I said, TNA did their own. What was it? It was called Hardcore Justice, wasn't it?
I think so.
Because I saw the first few ones of them. They used that bluey kind of ring mat that you mentioned earlier on. Yeah, it was Hard Justice. That was it. And then it became Hardcore Justice when they did the ECW thing. And they did that in 2010. And to this day, it's still called Hardcore Justice. Flip it, heck. In 2021, they didn't have one this year, but in 2021, you had Team Dreamer.
Oh.
Versus Violent by Design, which featured Rhino. So we've got a little bit of a ECW twang still.
Wait, against who?
Team Dreamer. I don't know if Dreamer was in the match though. No, he's not. It's Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Trey Miguel. There we go. That kid Cash. Oh, he was so good as well. That was terrible. He just got thrown out of the ring straight away. Balls behind the axle.
It was a weird time in wrestling, when guys were just chatting out the word balls.
Yeah, Mate, they got new contracts and stuck around for a while. Was it both of them or just the one?
I don't know. I remember, was it Balls Mahoney was a ECW guy, isn't it? The newer
Yeah.
ECW they had.
Yeah, I don't know if Axel Rotten was. Yeah, I think it was just Balls Mahoney. Didn't they change his name to Mahoney? Or that might
Probably.
be in TNA as well. Or maybe it was Balls, just Balls.
Liking that mullet, by the way.
Oh, Mullet Mania.
Oh!
That was rough. That just reminded me, I forgot Nova, of course, is Simon Dean. I love Simon Dean. That weren't long before this as well. I think Simon Dean must have been 2004, 5. Let's have a look. When was Simon Dean? Yeah, 2005.
Dude, the distance on that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Kind of makes up from falling out the ring within seconds just a minute ago. I thought Kid Castro was great, man. Yeah, maybe we should do one of those TNA ones. I remember enjoying the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore Justice. And the other one, Hardcore Heaven. No, not Hardcore Heaven. That's an ECW show. Hardcore Homecoming.
Yeah, I'm down.
That sounded rough. There we go. Match is underway. And we are on 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 37 seconds. Tommy Jr. now walking up to Bubba. Throws him into the ropes. Goes for the cheese skater. Ducks. Belly to back from Bubba. Bubba's looking buff. Did you hear? Joey Styles there.
Only in ECW would you get a cheese grater from under the ring. Oh.
Sun over the head.
I think that sign sounds a lot worse than the impact that it was.
Yeah, because, so again, going back to the backyard wrestling days, we used to use those kind of like bacon sheets and stuff, and they don't really, they don't hurt that much, but they make an incredible sound. Oh my gosh, busting over already, and there, the cheese grater across the forehead. They make a crazy sound. It's like a quick temporary thing, but the long-term damage is what the problem is for those things. God, it's unreal. As we were talking about earlier, like being conditioned not to like this anymore, but it does mean that when you do see it, it feels impactful. Like the time Randy Orton was busted open a few years ago, you know, and stuff like that. Cody looking like a complete mess as well, you know, a few times.
Him against Dustin.
Yeah. But then it gets too much. It's like,
as they say, John Moxley sneezes and starts bleeding.
It's like Ric Flair. He used to bleed all the time. Backwards 3D. Ladders in by the Sandman.
I love it's a cheap ladder as well.
I was going to say, it's not a WWE ladder, is it? Yeah.
No.
Movement. Sandman has to get out of the way. Of course, yeah, as you just mentioned, Terry Funk did that first set, Barely Legal. That's a great show as well. Barely Legal from 97, the first pay-per-view.
Was it ECW that had, was it Over the Line? Or was it Crossing the Line? I remember one had...
the night line was crossed. That was like what they called one of the big nights they had, yeah. But Impact TNA was Cross the Line.
Cross the Line, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine having the casual plan before the match. So I'm just going to get a cheese grater.
Yeah. Dropped her hold there. Quite a quality wrestling move there from Sandman, got to say. But it was going on to a trash can, as the Americans say. Beer in the face there by Tommy Dreamer. Very optimistic pin attempt there by Sandman. Oof.
Oh!
There's Bacon Chase bouncing up above his head there. Oh.
Cauliflower
Right on the
beanbags.
old... Yeah. I didn't know what word to use, so I'm glad you did it. Oh, Swanton from Sandman onto the ladder with Demon underneath.
So who Sandman reminds me of? Kreese from
Who?
Cobra Kai.
Hey, look, this is where I'm going to upset you, mate, and say I've never seen Cobra Kai.
Oh my goodness. Have you not seen the Karate Kid movies?
And the reason is because I haven't seen the Karate Kid. As a kid, I saw it on TV, clips, but I never watched it properly. And this is where I'm going to make it even worse. I have seen the one with Jaden Smith.
Oh my goodness. Get out of your own stream. Leave.
Well, maybe we could do, I don't know, do it on the Iron Scream one or something.
Well, I need to talk to Tom. And I messaged Tom. I had a catch up with him.
Yeah.
And I told him to watch Karate Kid, then watch a Cobra Kai. And he was texting me after everything that happened in the season. He was like, "Oh, what happened this?" And I was like, "Just keep watching." And he messaged me. And
he texted me the other day and said he'd been watching it all, actually.
So it was like, "Oh my god, it's so good." I was like, "I told you."
Yeah, I've heard so many good things, but again, I need to watch the film. So,
he championed it as well. You know, like he'd done it in a good couple days, like something like that. He just fell through it.
Yeah, was it like 5 seasons, something like that? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get around to it.
Should.
Here we go, going for a double figure 4 here, Dreamer and Sandman. I'll be damned, wrestling hold, says Joey Styles. Lance Storm's back. And Just Incredible. I always like Just Incredible. Do you remember with X Factor?
Yeah.
Albert and X Pac. They had a wicked theme song, man. But they had 2, but one of them, the Uncle Cracker one. Tombstone onto a ball of barbed wire. Good job, Just Incredible's wearing bloody knee pads.
Yeah. See, if you weren't wearing knee pads, that would have hurt.
It would have. Francine, here we go. I knew she was on the show at some point. Oh, here we go. Kick to the balls. It's such a shame that Raven's not on this show, man. And Funk, like I said, but Bueller, here we go. Cat fight. There we go. Right on cue there from Joey Styles. Cat fight. So that's the interesting thing about this show. Like, it gets away with a lot of things that you couldn't do on a proper show.
Yeah.
Like, it's too chaotic at times, but it's because it is like, it's the greatest hits of ECW in some ways. You know, it's fitting in a lot of stuff. Like, even the beginning, the BWO coming out before the match. This is a great moment. The hug. Oh, but the blood everywhere. There we go.
I love
Double
this.
DDT, yeah. Oh, it went a bit awkward, but go for the pin as well. Demon's had some health issues lately, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's like Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh,
Demon's a great seller, by the way.
Yeah.
Flopping around like a fish.
Oh, they didn't bleep that bit.
Yeah, he said F this, all right?
Oh. Joey Styles on commentary, he's gold, isn't it?
It's good, yeah. I mean, again, I keep saying it, but another person that ended up sticking around for a little bit here as well. Of course, has a big moment himself shooting on Raw, don't he?
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Devon had a stroke.
Oh,
and
did he?
He had heart surgery. I thought it was sent to his legs, though. Just have a look.
I don't know. I think, do you know what?
Spinal. Yeah, he had spinal fusion surgery in February after dealing with bulging discs in his spinal cord. Spike Dudley as well. What was you going to say?
Yeah, no. As you were talking about having Foley there on commentary,
and
I don't know, just listening to it, it really just seems fitting.
What with Joey Styles?
Yeah, it just adds something extra.
Yeah,
him being an ECW and him being a member of all three brands at one point. You know, it does.
Yeah,
it just seems right.
Yeah, it's still genuine because he has a lot to do with a lot of these guys' careers as well. So of course this is the table and the lighter fluid. If you remember this.
How much do you want to put on?
Just want to make sure, innit? There we go. It's on fire. They pick him up. Powerbomb through the flaming table.
What a sell, by the way. What a sell.
1, 2, 3. There we go. It's all over. The Dudley boys win thanks to Spike Dudley and a flaming table. Spike's amped up. Look at that.
I'm trying not to chomp in your ear.
Oh, no. They've got Bueller. Saved by Sandman with a cane. Somebody get me a beer.
Oh.
Sandman looks like he's fighting off a zombie when that happens. Get him some plasma. Oh, there we go. So it's so strange that Stone Cold, like JBL was shocked there. He's like, how dare he stoop down to this level? But of course, like,
he just hasn't aged, does he, Austin?
No.
It just looks the same.
But Austin leaving WCW, ECW give him a chance, and because of that, he's picked up by WWE. Then, ironically, doesn't do much at first because he's the ringmaster, but then eventually would become more of what he was doing in ECW. The early stages of Stone Cold is ECW.
I really like him as the ringmaster. I really enjoy it.
It's just annoying because Stone Cold is so much better. You know what I mean? It's like It's like I really like Cody Rhodes as Cody Rhodes, dashing Cody Rhodes and the moustache.
What run?
I really
is
like
that when
Cody
he was putting
Rhodes
the bags on people's heads?
with the bags. I like him with the mask, but I also like the American Nightmare. So it's like, you know, like. This is cool though, having Austin and Sandman together. So again, it feels very WWE, but it is still the origins are in ECW for Austin. So with this kind of character, so we get the whole roster. There's Blue Meanie there, very unsuspected, not knowing what's about to come to his blue face. It's going to be very red in a minute. Okay, so for anyone that's maybe lost where they are in the stream, we are 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 50 seconds in with the ECW roster now getting into the ring with a very puzzled looking Raw and SmackDown set of wrestlers. Oh, Maven.
Austin doesn't look sure, does he? He looks a bit confused there.
A bit overwhelmed.
It's crazy to think that he was a part of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was such a WWE guy.
That's what I mean, yeah. It looks like WWE, but because he weren't he's a massive star in WWE. He's not a massive star in ECW. He's a good commodity at the time. But no one goes, "Oh, do you remember that top ECW star, Steve Austin?" You know, like it's about his WWF run.
Yeah,
and
true.
ECW is about other people.
Yeah.
But it's the same as Benoit, Guerrero, Jericho as well. Malenko. Single file. It's mad when you do see the ring. It is like a full roster, pretty much. You know, I know some of these guys again are already in WWE, but it just showed there's a lot of people there that are kind of shining there. Rey looks cool up there in his ECW t-shirt on the top rope.
I just see his legs. I can't see anything now.
Some good quotes here from Steve Austin. God, Tyson Tomko. That was his name, wasn't it? Tomko. Tyson?
Yeah.
Was it Tyson Tomko? Yeah, here they come. Austin's having some fun with it here. So it's the last 10 minutes of the show here. We'll wrap up with our final thoughts on the event once the stream ends as well. Well, not our stream, their stream. Is that roadkill as well? The coach, like he's going to get involved. Who was that there taking the top off?
Don't know. It looked like MJF for a second.
I thought it looked like Tyson Kidd. It's definitely not. It was bigger than Tyson Kidd, but we want Taz. Here we go. It's one of my favorite moments of the whole thing. This.
I'm trying to look for JBL when he.
Ooh, there he is. JBL. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Blue Meanie moment.
I find it interesting that they started chanting "We want Taz." I wonder if it was fed into him. It was interesting timing. I love this theme song as well. I like his WWE theme, but "Survive If I Let You" is great as well. Bischoff on commentary now then. Taz and Kurt Angle, yeah. No, of course, that was Taz's debut in WWF.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble. All right, so have a look there. That was it.
Oh, there he is.
JBL just whacked him. That he's going at him now. Yeah, there we go. It's rough,
Oh, man.
Oh, transmission. So, trying to see it in the middle now. JBL's just kind of rushing about. You can't see Blue Meanie at the moment. Sandman's just sitting back watching.
Oh, there's Meanie in the top right. Far right.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
Man.
I remember not long after this, I spoke to Blue Meanie on AOL.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice. Like, I think I found his email address or something like that through maybe his MySpace or something. And he wrote back to me a few times. It was really nice. But I think I remember talking about this as well. Yeah, I wonder if I could look into it and see if I could still find him. But he was always like a really approachable wrestler. Like nowadays, of course, tweet, they do tweet and whatever else, but back then. Bit of an awkward little brawl out, wasn't it? Like I get why they want to end like this, but it's a strange one.
It's strange seeing Rey in a ECW shirt.
Yeah. He's changed mask, and he won't wear a black mask earlier on, was he?
Or
amazing JBL's that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they did a really good job of painting Bischoff as the villain with WWE's past, but also, JBL the side of WWE. Sandman sees out of it. This kind of doesn't make sense. So, like, all these people to walk by and just ignore one person telling them not to come near him.
Yeah, but do you really want to get into something with Mick Foley?
No, but it's like
Jack
20 of them.
I wonder what Austin was saying to Bubba then.
Yeah. Bang, bang, here we go. But yeah, I got to say, good sport there. I know the JBL thing got a bit controversial, but I'm sure some of the things he said he did actually feel. But Bischoff's doing a good job here of making himself the fool. It's interesting the dynamic there between Austin as well, because that's why he goes to ECW. Is Bischoff, and he starts to 3D, do parodies of him and that. 619 as well.
This is when he pours the beer on him to wake him up.
I don't know, is it? So Bischoff says F and a few other letters, ECW there. Go for the stunner. Hey.
He took it well, though, didn't he?
He did take it well, yeah. See, that's the only thing about this show that I look back on and think, as much as this is a fun moment, and I get the Austin connection, and again, it links in with why Austin went to ECW in the first place, it's still a strange feeling to hear Stone Cold's theme song playing at the end of this ECW event.
Yeah.
And he's like in charge, and everyone's kind of like, "Oh, Austin, you're so cool," and he is. But for ECW guys, it's like they're in awe of him. You know, like it feels a bit odd.
If it wasn't Austin, it should have been, for example, Dreamer or Rob Van Dam or
Taz,
Taz,
it doesn't feel genuine. Like it's a great moment, like to see Sandman and Austin together. But yeah, I remember this as well. Then putting him on the truck. And this is it. Like I said, this is the last time we see the Dudley Boyz in WWE for a long time. Okay, so that's a bit more apt moving into Let the Boys Hit the Floor. Even though the song wasn't entirely an ECW song, it was only used in the used for them in the Invasion. Then for this, of course.
Mm.
But it's a nice little celebration, man. It feels like a nice little party. Enjoy. Remember the ECW of the past. I would say it's all downhill from here, but it's not, because 2006 is pretty decent as well. And there are some good things after it, but...
Yeah. I'm sorry,
So
you started speaking as I was finishing my pizza.
That's all right, mate.
I only had 2 slices. Can you believe it? Do you know what I like about this bit, though?
What?
Austin leaves the ring and just leaves the ECW guys there.
Yeah, that's good. Rey wearing the hat as well. Austin and Sandman together. ECW wins. Bit of a strange call there. But anyway, that is it. That is ECW One Night Stand 2005. Quick thoughts on this. We'll kind of wrap up here and just kind of give a little kind of mini review almost of the event. I got to say, Rob, I'm very, very pleased to say that after all these years, it still holds up to me. Again, some of the more violent sides, maybe wince a little bit in what we know these days about concussions and stuff like that. And there are a few things that I felt back then, but I still feel the same about now as the WWE kind of hit flavor on it. But at the same time, they could have, to their credit, they could have been a lot worse. You know, they could have really, they made themselves the fools in this. And the WWE guys that they did use in a positive ECW sense, they, especially in commentary, Foley and Styles did a good job of explaining their ECW past as well. So, yeah, man, I really enjoyed this show. What about you?
Yeah, it was nice to see, I don't know, just like different, not WWE or AEW styled wrestling. It was ECW, which is its own product. And we got to see that, but in like a nicer ring, if you know what I mean. It was still, everything else was still cheap and cheerful, and
yeah,
that's what ECW was. And you know, it was nice to kind of get a shade of that for our generation growing up. Obviously, we didn't get to see it back in like the late 90s. So again, to see just a little tease of it was great. It does make me want to go back and watch more, especially a lot of Mike Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, good point. Yeah, certain wrestlers I want to dive back into. I've mentioned him a lot tonight. Raven, even though he wasn't even on the show.
I love Raven.
I love Raven. But like, I love ECW. I used to. There was this corner shop where they sold 2 of them actually, where they sold ECW DVDs, and I got Hardcore Heaven 97, Barely Legal, maybe Guilty as Charged 2001 maybe, or 2000. And quite a lot of them. And I really was getting into ECW just in the years leading up to this. So then for me, because although, I didn't watch them as they were happening in 97, 99 or whatever, just kind of hearing about it in magazines or whatever. And when the wrestlers came to WWF and they're like, oh, Taz, he used to be an ECW sort of thing. And then by the time this pay-per-view come around, I was ready for a One Night Stand. And I think it opened a lot of people's eyes to the ECW product. I was joking a lot earlier about it only being 4 years closed, but still, it still kind of was a big resurgence. And like 2006 was good as well. Maybe we'll do that at some other point as well, because that, especially the Rob Van Dam stuff, is just amazing. The Cena stuff as well. Talk about someone who played their role perfectly. John Cena did the same thing there as some of the WWE guys did in this one. But yeah, and then of course it kickstarts the new ECW, and then that doesn't work out the way everybody hoped, it seems. But hey, so I think even this show and 2006 sometimes get forgotten about by wrestling fans and WWE because they don't want to remind people of what come after it, you know. But looking back on it, like, great show, man. Glad we did it. I'm glad I've watched it again.
It's good.
I'm not sure Extreme Rules is going to have as many extreme moments as this did. I don't think we'll get flaming tables. Hopefully, we're not getting steel chair shots and bacon trays to the head.
They do sound good.
They do sound good.
Make a good tang noise.
They do, yeah. But yeah, looking forward to that. Of course, again, we're doing this as we're in the road to Extreme Rules 2022 in Philadelphia. Paul Heyman's on all the promo stuff and stuff like that. So we thought it'd be a good time to kind of reminisce and go back to where it all kind of stems from, really. Of course, ECW and that kind of stepping stone between the two companies with One Night Stand as well. So anyway, Rob, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for everyone that's watched live and on demand. If you're just tuning in or caught us late, you can go back and watch it. And again, as we go through the stream here, we've been explaining how to sync up with us as well. As we mentioned before, we should be doing a few more of these in the future. So let us know which ones you'd like to see coming up definitely later in the year. I say definitely, hopefully, but planned at least at the moment. Survivor Series 2002, watch along. A little while ago, we did SummerSlam 2002 and SummerSlam 1992. And hopefully we can get some fun content out for you very, very soon. Of course, with Extreme Rules coming up, Crown Jewel coming up, Survivor Series coming up. The content doesn't stop here in the wrestling world, so that means we aren't slowing down anytime soon either. So check out more of our content from our podcasts to our interviews with WWE superstars and beyond. But once again, thank you very much for joining us. And anything else you want to say before we leave here, Rob?
Anyone watching, make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified when we're doing a live stream or when we've got another video coming out.
Good. Here we go. Nice bit of plugging there. All right, wicked, man. Thank you very much again. And everyone that's joined us today, we hope to see you again very soon. Cheers.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.